Hi everyone, Greg Heilman with the Sound on Stage, or this week I'm calling it the Sound and Beyond on Stage, because we're still here in Ashland, Oregon for the Oregon Shakespeare Festival for the indoor season before the outdoor season opens in a couple of weeks. And speaking of opening in a couple of weeks, I'm joined today by Justin Huertas, the composer, writer, lyricist, the everything to do with Lizard Boy. I'm wearing the team shirt here, which I'm hoping he gets a little bit of a royalty from. But Justin, welcome to the show. It's great to finally meet you in person.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And the first thing I have to do before we get to Lizard Boy, because there's plenty to talk about with that, is congratulate you in person for the award you won from us for your work with Steven on the music for Lydia and the Troll last year at Seattle Rep.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I'm so proud of that show. So that award really meant a lot to me.
Yeah, it is. That was one of those shows that I didn't know what to expect going into it. It just blew me away. And such good, Sarah and Janet and the whole cast were just phenomenal in that, and the music was great. Which leaves me very excited for Lizard Boy, which is opening here at OSF at the Thomas Theater across the street on June 15th. So a few weeks. And it's going to run through October, right?
October 12th.
Wow, that's a super long run. But Lizard Boy, I mean, this isn't something that's premiering here. You've had this, you've been building this for quite a while, and I know it did some time in Seattle. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm gonna have to make sure to come back down. I want to come back down for the outdoor season anyway. But I do want to catch Lizard Boy. But let's talk about how it started. When did you, I think you were commissioned for this? When did that all start?
So I came out of college as an actor. I wasn't a writer. I took one playwriting class. It was fun. I would write things to myself, like, very quietly. I'd written a couple songs that no one ever heard. And then when the then artistic director, Jerry Manning at Seattle Rep, he knew me as an actor, but he saw me play cello in a concert. And he was like, "You're an actor who plays cello. You should have a play where you play cello." And I'm like, "What? I don't know what that means." Yes, I agree.
The Yo-Yo Ma story?
Yeah, I'm like, "What is that? What even is that?" And so he's like, "Okay, great. Well, I'm just gonna pair you with a playwright, and they will support you as you write yourself a play." And I was like, "What?" And it started as just like diary entries. Like, I was paired with this wonderful playwright named Andrea Allen, and I would just, like, every day just write her an email about my day or what I'm thinking or something. And somewhere in there, I had made up a story about me having lizard skin, and that was the concept that all of us just gravitated toward, because I grew up with superheroes and I just loved those stories so dearly. So we created this character, and it was going to be a solo show, but I don't like doing anything by myself. So I immediately wrote two other characters. I brought on my best friend Kiki from college, and my friend Bill, who I had done some shows with in Seattle. Brandon Ivey came on to direct, and it became Lizard Boy. Our first workshop was in 2013, and then it premiered at Seattle Rep in 2015, and since then we've been bopping all over the place. San Diego, the Bay Area, Edinburgh Fringe. We were in New York last year, and now we're here.
Yeah, nominated for a few awards, I think.
Yeah, there were in New York.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. We got nominated for 3 Drama Desk Awards, which is wild. I just like, no one's gonna remember us. We were early in the season, and like, we're nobody. We're nobody. Like, what's that? And then suddenly that announcement came out, and I was like, floored. My phone just went off because it's real time, but I'm just going to. But yeah, I was so completely like, I had no idea that anyone even remembered us. So we got nominated for Outstanding Musical, Outstanding Score, and Outstanding Book. And then the Off-Broadway Alliance also nominated us for Best Musical.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, well, trust me, people take notes. And if a show is good enough, the nice thing is it's held up against every other show that those people have seen since then. So that's a huge compliment.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So well done on that.
Thank you.
Now, you've written how many songs have you written for this? this play?
Recently or?
Well, okay. Let's stop by because you said you just wrote a couple. I think yesterday, right?
Yeah, I wrote a couple. Yeah, on Monday on my day off.
So how does the process work? So you've started workshopping, then it's bounced around, and how do you know what needs to be changed, or how do you know when it's done? I mean, is it ever done?
Oh God, I always think it can be. We go into a process, and before we start rehearsal, I get these ideas like, oh, you know what? This could be tighter. This could be more expansive. This can be that. This can be that. This can be cooler in some way. And so I just bring in revisions, and we have a new draft, and then we hone those in. We open the show, and then I'm like, okay, great. I think this is it. And then we get a new opportunity to do it somewhere else, and I'm like, okay, I do want to tweak some things. And that's exactly what happened. After we were off Broadway in New York, I was like, I'm done. I am not revising this play again. We are finished. And then 4 months ago, I was like, or I could write 3 new songs and restructure a large amount of it. So I brought in a brand new draft, and we kind of came in and we're kind of treating it as a brand new musical because it kind of is now. And then sure enough, on Monday, on my day off, after week 1 of rehearsal, I wrote a couple new songlets that are now in the show. And now the list that's going to be in the program is outdated.
Oh no. That one of those little inserts.
I know. Oh gosh, yeah. I'll see what I can do.
You have
about
song
that.
understudies now, right? So you have,
Yes, that's true. That's true. Oh my gosh.
Well, I do want to talk about the rehearsal process here at OSF because there are, 3 main stages. The outdoor stage hasn't opened yet for the season, but there's the Bomer Theater and the Thomas Theater where Lizard Boy's going to be, and there's also shows going on. So I think you said you're at a rehearsal space a block away.
Yeah.
But when do you move into Thomas, and how do you negotiate the schedule?
Yeah. Well, that's the crazy thing is, OSF, this is like a well-oiled machine at this point. So whereas we are used to our daily schedule being a certain amount of hours at a certain time of day, and this is when all these things will happen. Now we're going into the theater in a week, and we're going to start spacing in there and doing tech rehearsals in there, but only for a certain amount of time because in the evening there's a show happening there.
Yeah.
So we will do half of our day on stage and half of our day back in the rehearsal room to see what else we can do, which is so different than what we're used to. But OSF has been such an amazing company to work for even just the week that I've been here, and so I'm so not worried. I'm just like, oh, they got us. Yeah.
Yeah, they've done it before.
Yeah.
So did they approach you with bringing the show here?
They did. Yeah. They did. They reached out, and the first idea was that maybe, we would license the show, and they would do an independent production of Lizard Boy, and that kind of quickly turned around, and it was like, actually, we want you guys. And I was like, yes. Because much as I would love to see what OSF would do with this script and score, I've wanted to work here since I was in high school. I came here for a field trip in college. My friend, a classmate, and I took a spontaneous road trip down here just to see one show because we were like, The Winter's Tale is playing, and so we went down and we watched The Winter's Tale, and then that night drove back home, and I love it here so much. And so yeah, this could have been me visiting and seeing Lizard Boy, but I'm so happy it's me being in Lizard Boy for the whole season. That's so cool to me.
Well, it's a destination for not just theater goers, but actors and creatives as well. And that's the one common thing that people I've talked to this week, and especially from Seattle. There's a huge Seattle OSF relationship that goes back a long time. I spoke with Rosa Joshi and Caitlin McIntyre, who came down from Seattle. Rosa was via LA, but spent 22 years in Seattle. You're well known in the Seattle theater scene, as is Kiki and Steven and all the other folks. What is it? Geography? I mean, that's the question I've been asking everybody. Is it geography, or is it more than that? Is it a mindset?
Yeah, there's something about the way that we make art in both of these places. Because that's the thing is, the community in Seattle, the theater community in Seattle is so small that it often feels like a repertory theater. It feels like I'm in rehearsal for this while I'm performing in that, and you're doing two other things, and we're gonna meet at this project, and it's always, we're all kind of tangled in these really beautiful ways. And I think that's one thing that has me kind of pulled toward OSF is that sense of community and camaraderie, and like we're all in it to make art, and all the art is so different, but we're all making it at the same time in the same space, and that's so inspiring. So yeah, I feel like it's the way we do it.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that. I mean, the idea of community, and that's one thing I've seen in both areas as well. Now you went to school in Tacoma, and the Tacoma arts community is its own little community between Lakewood and Musical Playhouse and Tacoma Little Theater. They all support each other and lift each other up. The same thing happens in Seattle, and the same thing happens here between the theater and the town. It's a synergistic relationship where if the theater needs help, something, the beam breaks in the Bomer Theater or whichever, the town steps in because they're dependent on each other at this point. And I think that's, to your point, I think, there's a sense of community in both places.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? I mean, with Lizard Boy opening soon, I imagine you're fully immersed in that, but is there anything that's kind of kneeling in the back of your head that you've got in the works?
Yeah, well, okay, so when I'm in a rehearsal process for Lizard Boy, that's everything that all my energy, all of my brain space, it's only Lizard Boy. I can't do anything else. But I do have, once Lizard Boy opens, I'm going to get to work on a couple other things that I have cooking. One of them is a new musical that I'm writing with a playwright in New York named Eric Ulloa. And he's amazing. We recently had a residency at the Goodspeed, which was fantastic. My first time working there, and they were so great.
And that's in Connecticut?
In Connecticut, yeah. In East Haddam. Connecticut is just like a state of towns. There's so many towns in it. And then I have another new musical that hasn't been announced yet, and I can't say what it is until it's announced, but I'm working on another musical, and I'm so excited about it. I think it's getting announced in early June, so stay tuned. Okay. So, Justin, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. we're going to look forward to that announcement in June, see what's coming up. We hope to see some additional theater from you in the Seattle area. What I saw from Lydia and the Troll, and what I've heard from the soundtrack for Lizard Boy, even though that's going to change as well now that you've got 50 new songs that you wrote overnight. You're quite prolific, which is not a bad thing. It just means you got so many ideas, and that's the kind of thing we need. So hopefully we'll see something in Seattle at some point again. Hopefully I'll come down here and be able to see Lizard Boy, which means another trip to Ashland, which, there are worse things. There are definitely worse things. So you've got a busy day of rehearsal. I've got a show at 1:30. I'm going to see Born with Teeth. Yes.
Here at the Bomer Theater. And then I'm taking the trek back up to Seattle right after that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And once again, congratulations on the award for Lydia and the Troll.
Thank you so much.
Enjoyed that one so much. And can't wait to see Lizard Boy. And so please come down to OSF if no other reason than to see Lizard Boy, but there's so many other reasons.
So many other reasons.
So many other great shows here, which we've talked about in my live reports. And Ashland's just such a beautiful town. This is a beautiful day. It's 57 degrees and sunny and blue sky. It's a little dry, but
yeah,
you get used to it.
You get used to it.
You're gonna have to get used to it.
I know.
It's through October.
Yeah.
So one final question though. So once the show opens, is it set, or do you think there'll be any revisions after?
Oh my goodness. Now I'm in the place of never say never, because I thought I was done. But I mean, that's the thing, is I continue to grow as a human and as a writer, and it makes me want to pour all that back into the first musical I ever wrote, Lizard Boy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you mentioned superheroes before. I know you grew up as a fan of superheroes, and that's kind of where Lizard Boy comes from. Who's your favorite superhero?
Wanda Maximoff. Scarlet Witch. She's my favorite. Before WandaVision, I still love WandaVision, but like, I loved her before WandaVision. My guitar is named Wanda.
Is she dead?
No, there's no way. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. No, I know exactly what storyline this is setting up, and I can't wait to see it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I did see, and we're digressing away from Wizard Boy, but always love talking Marvel with people. I did see that they're making not just the Vision series, but they're making a sequel series to WandaVision. So we'll see. But yeah, I just remember at the end of WandaVision when she had the Darkhold there.
Yep.
And then I started to think, ooh, are they going to tie Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. into this too? But they won't do that.
No.
I did like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get too far off the rails here, I'm going to let you go. You've got rehearsal starting in a little over an hour. And I'm going to go grab some lunch and then head to Born with Teeth at the Bomer Theater. So thanks again, Justin. Justin Huertas has been my guest on Behind the Curtain with Lizard Boy. I'm Greg Heilman with The Sound and Beyond on stage this week. Thank you all for joining me. And until next time, I will see you at the stage door.